Welcome back to Backstage Pass. With me tonight is a very talented singer-songwriter, Lynn Linton. How are you tonight?
Great, Joel. How are you?
So, you're trying to make it in the music business. What kind of problems are you facing as a woman in this type of business?
Well, I don't know if I'm facing any problems any different than a man would. I think, particularly in this town, oh God, there seems to be not a whole lot of interest coming from perhaps the media and newspapers, and I feel like probably men and women come up against some of the same things, only it's just different in each person's court.
Now, as a man, or let's say a band, let's put it in that way, most clubs want you to play top 40, but basically you do a lot of songwriting.
I do a lot of my original music. That's one of the reasons I haven't put together a whole band, because in Phoenix, basically to survive and to make a real good living, you have to have a top 40 group. The bars want to sell drinks, and they sell drinks by people dancing, and I don't feel that they're as open to having a place where you can really just sit and listen to music, and where people are even trained or have the discipline in their minds with the idea to go and just sit and listen to some good music without having to load themselves with alcohol and dance around all night long. There's a couple places, but there are real few that you can do that at.
Do you find that it's so much harder being a solo than in a band?
I don't know. I've done both, and I think as a solo, a lot of people have a stereotype where you're not recognized as being a talented act because you don't have a whole band. In some people's minds, if you have an entire group, you're all of a sudden a special item, and I found that not to be necessarily true. And I like doing both, and currently I do a solo, but I hire different musicians for special events or concerts or openings for certain events, and then I find that I can have the best of both worlds.
Now, it's most musicians' dream to go into a recording studio and make an album and sell it. Have you gone through that route? Constantly,
yes. I think about it all the time, and I've been, years ago I worked on writing a song, and I sent it around to a bunch of different labels, and I've kept for my records all of my rejection letters so that I have...
Did they ever tell you why they rejected you?
Mostly it was, it's like a catch-22. Well, you're not proven. You're not, produced by somebody. You're not published. And they wanted something that was already solicited. That was mostly it, or we're not ready for this particular type of song at this time. And currently I'm doing a whole other type of style, I think, of music than I was doing, 5 and 6 years ago. So I'm working on getting a demo tape together, hopefully getting it done within the next couple months and start shopping that around.
We were talking earlier about artist representation here in Arizona, how difficult it is to find the right person to market you, and what type of problems you've been faced marketing yourself. Would you like to share that with the audience a little bit?
Yes. I think I'm not the only one who's been on a search for finding a person or persons who could manage or be an agent, who have integrity, who follow through, who really want to represent the artist and not just hire an artist to do a particular convention or event at a resort. Someone who could really see a talent and even give ideas and help manage and develop it. I've yet to find a person or a group of people like that, and I think that's something that this town could really use, because there's definitely a lot of talent out there, and it just seems to be being passed up, and so people don't find out about it. And then we get this reputation of not having a lot of talent in this town, and it's not true.
Now, have you found your looks to be a help or a hindrance in the business? Oh, first off, you're very self-conscious about your looks. Obviously, you don't think that you're as beautiful as you are.
Not at all. And I'm.
You must not be from Phoenix.
No, I'm originally from Chicago, and no, I still have this very, what I call, and a lot of people know, Gidget image. I was a real wallflower in a way growing up, and I I cannot even conceive that some people, their image that they have of me. I'm completely approachable person to talk to, and I'll talk to anyone and make friends with anyone. And from my experience, sometimes it's been a help, and I've learned how to perhaps manipulate it a little bit where I can take advantage of it, like, you know, when you have a flat tire or something like that, and you can bat your eyelashes. But basically, I think it sometimes has a hindrance, you know, or there's times I've been, you know, years ago I was let go from a job because a manager of a hotel's wife didn't exactly like my look, you know, and lots of times you get stereotyped, you know, where you're tall, you have this certain physique, and that must mean you have no brains and no talent, you know. So I don't think that's true.
Now, when you write a song, what do you write first, the lyrics or the music?
It's a combination. Sometimes even when I'm sleeping, I'll get a certain beat or rhythm in my head. Then I'll wake up and I'll start strumming on my guitar and work on that. And other times I'll get an idea for lyrics by something that's happened to me personally or something I've heard about in the news and feel like I've just got to get that down. And sometimes they really go right hand in hand, where I'll hear a couple words in my head, and then I get this rhythm that goes with the words. Or if I'm jogging or riding my bike, I hear this rhythm, and I start saying a few words to it, and all of a sudden I have like you know, a chorus, you know, or a hook or something.
Do you find that your songs are you going for any really deep meaning, or are you trying to enlighten humanity, or you have a special message, or are you just dealing with more of the mundane?
I'd like to think I'm going for deep meaning, but lately I've been questioning what is deep, what hasn't already been covered. I mean, what is deep now, it has been covered years and years ago by famous philosophers and Plato and all these people that we're all reading now, self-help books. I'm very much into, you know, as far as growing consciousness, spirituality in what I call a non-religious way. I look at it where I implement it into my lifestyle, but I do not have it control my lifestyle or limit my lifestyle in any way. If anything, it enhances it. And
so, what your meanings in your songs, do you deal with love affairs, the normal that people can relate to, or are you off into very abstract?
No, I don't think I'm very abstract. I don't think I'm really that way as a person. I try and find things that matter to me, issues in the world, about our own selves, dealing with the world socially, the change revolving around that. Occasionally, more lately, I've been writing a couple things about relationships, but I stay away from that, perhaps because I've stayed away from being extremely involved in any.
It's hard to keep a relationship in the type of work you do.
That could have something to do with it.
Do you look for other musicians, or do you look for somebody who sells real estate or works for the bank?
Not at all. No yuppies. I do not really. I don't think I'm even looking. It's a feeling. It's something I'll see in somebody's eyes. You do not find it in clubs. I don't, you know, see people that I date and date people that I see in clubs.
Then where would you meet the people that you would date?
You tell me.
You're saying, look in the art museum or like, movies or something?
I don't know. That's why I think I stick to writing music about things that mean the most to me right now. And it seems like that's the part of my life that I'm involved with. I'm not really heavily involved in any kind of relationship. I'm more interested in perhaps developing my relationship with myself and knowing who I am, so that I can be secure enough in that so I can attract the person that would like who I'm comfortable with being with, and that's me.
One of my friends said that he saw you as making love to the microphone. Keep those cards and letters coming, and we'll see you next time on Backstage Pass. Good night.
And for the children's hungry eyes, and the ones who gave their lives, they paid for love with flesh and bones, with no voice to call their own. We're silent heroes in our sight. We ask you pray for us tonight. Grace our ignorance instead, and by your wisdom we'll be led. But we have the right to choose a gift we can't afford to lose. Freedom's lost by all, not some, when misused by only one. And as I lay me down to sleep, I'll dry these tears that I weep when we've stopped the wrongs we've done for the sake of freedom won.